right, guys. Hey, welcome back to another edition of BMX Coach Live. I am your host, three-time Olympic coach Greg Romero, and man, we have an awesome show for you today. And let me adjust my mic here. Hope you guys hear it well. Listen, if you guys are into winning races, let's talk about so many different ways we can win races, but let's talk about not only the obvious ones, but the not so obvious ones, right? High level, Olympic level, guys that are serious about winning races as a business. That's what I want to give you guys today. Listen, if you guys are just now joining live, we do a show live, and so we interact with our audience. I'm going to say hello real quick. But if you guys are watching on a replay, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell notification. That way you guys get notified when I post or when I go live. And in the live chat here, we have Paul Spark. He's already talking about elbows out. And let's see here. Aiden Swart says, let's go. I can't wait to join the live. JP says, good evening, coach. David Burt says, visualizing the race before it even begins. Ooh, I like that one. We might be talking a little bit more about that and expand upon that, David. Edwin says, is this live yet? Yes, we are live. Ashton Brown says, here we go. And Jason P says, hey, coach. Nathan BMX says, hey, coach. A lot of people coming in. It's awesome. Gregory Seal says, what's up, Coach G? Dagster 45 says, hello. Guys, man, I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for you guys to show up. I'm so honored to be your coach and help you guys week in, week out when it comes to your BMX racing and training performance. Man, I hope you guys are having a great summer. I hope you guys enjoyed the Olympics. Man, that was a real crazy event when it comes to racing in the Olympic Games, man. It's always a little bit more wild than your regular racing event. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Greetings from Chile. Don Fausto says, Matt Johnson says, hi, Coach G. BMX 2525 says, hey. And I say, hey, what is going on? Hope you guys are well. Man, I'm doing really well. Man, hope it's first and foremost, man, I'm so glad to see your smiling faces, man. And I just can't tell you, I'm just, I get excited every time you guys come on live, and it's just beautiful. Anyways, I wanted to talk about 3 secrets to winning races, right? And, when we think about winning races, when I ask that question, so many people have so many different answers, and all of them are correct. That's what's so beautiful about life, right? You ask a question, and everyone with their own filters, with their own deletions, with their own distortions and their generalizations, they come up with answers, and it's totally correct to them, and I love that. That's what's so beautiful. And right off the hop, we're already talking about having elbows out and taking people out, and I'm surprised someone just didn't say, why don't you just go fast, whole shot, smash the gate down, whole shot, win from start to finish. And obviously we love to do that. And, we do want to talk about the obvious. We do want to talk about racing from behind. We do want to talk about increasing strength and power. And all those things are obvious, right? And we talk about that stuff week in, week out. Like, there's so many different videos that I've created about improving your gate start power, your reaction, your second, third pedal. Obviously, those are things that you want to be working on, right? We always talk about BMX racing being a power endurance sport. So many of you guys have a hard time with track speed. So working on your fitness and not only working on your fitness, but working on your track skills. That way your track times are reduced and you guys are getting around the track faster from the start to the finish line, right? Working on your skills, working on your fitness, working on your gates. Those are all obvious things. Obviously, coming from behind, working on your passes, working on your cornering, looking for opportunity and strategizing, right? And being able to have vision of how the race is going to unfold and be able to simply respond, right? Without overthinking and doing it masterfully, right? Masterfully. And so obviously it's important to work on all those things. I don't need to tell you guys that. Right? Those are the obvious things. I would say majority of you guys can create this video and say, yeah, these are the things you got to work on, right? BMX is a power sport. So we have to prepare and train like sprint athletes. So therefore we have to work on strength and speed, okay? On and off the bike. That's obvious. You guys know this already. You guys are high level BMX athletes, okay? Working on your gait form, your gait technique, your second and third pedal position, making sure that you get the most out of your acceleration position, getting the most out of your maximum power potential, right? That's obvious. You guys already know this. You guys are smart. I trust that you guys know this. And then working on your track speed, right? Working on track speed, making sure you guys are doing interval work, working on that metabolic system that will allow you to facilitate metabolic waste from, say, the first turn all the way to the finish line, right? Working on your ability to repeat that process. You guys already know this. Of course you guys know this. You guys are smart. Working on your skills, right? Making sure that you're smooth and efficient. If you guys are smooth and efficient, then obviously you guys are going to reduce your track time and increase your track speed. You guys already know this. That's obvious. We could talk about this all day long. We could talk about manually. We can talk about jumping. We can talk about pumping, right? We could talk about passing, right? I got a lot of videos on here about passing, right? Taking obvious lines, learning how to turn properly, right? Outside foot down, inside foot up, outside elbow out, right? Looking where you want to go, and practicing the 3 basic lines: the inside line, the mid line, and maybe a high-low line. That way you guys get familiar on how to take the corner in a race situation, right? You guys already know this. Of course you guys know this. Okay, so what is it you guys want to learn? Would it be helpful if I can help you and reveal some top-level secrets that I teach my Olympic athletes, my winner circle athletes? Yeah, man, of course. What do we got going on here? Let's see. What are people talking about in the live? If you guys are watching this on the replay, all you have to do is click on the live button and you guys will see the comments unfold as I speak. Oh, people are already talking about what's your opinion on clips. I think clips are great, right? I think flats are great, you know? Give me more context. People talking about, oh, Maria says also race is not over until it's over. All the people I've nipped at the line can second that. And yeah, that's right. David Burt says 90% mental, 10% physical. He typed in menthol. So yeah, menthol, that would burn my lungs up. But all right. So, when it comes to winning races, I mean, it's so obvious, right? Like at the end of the day, it's all about identifying strengths and weaknesses, racing your strengths, working on your weaknesses, and of course, improving more on your strengths, right? That's also a key because, winning races, it requires everything, and winning races can be hard. And what I want to do in this video, I'm curious to know if you guys will find this helpful, if I can reveal a couple of secrets of mine that I share again with my Olympic athletes and also my winner circle clients. And let's begin with number 1. Preparing the mindset, right? Preparing the mindset to win races. Now, that's so obvious, but let's face it, right? Like, what is the mindset? The mindset consists of 2 things, and 2 things for the most part: values and beliefs, right? What do you value, and what do you believe? And what are some beliefs that are preventing you from preparing the mindset to win races? When we think about preparing the mindset, there's so many different ways, right? There's so many different ways. We could visualize winning. We can visualize winning as if it already happened. Ooh, that's a good one. Maybe we'll touch on that. What else can we do? Anybody else have any ideas? Preparing the mindset, right? It's so easy to do. It's also easy not to do. A lot of people don't do it. But one of the examples I wanted to give in terms of preparing the mindset, listen, I always bring this up to a lot of my clients. And when I think of preparing someone to be a winner, right? Like, if you want to win races, you got to become a winner. Well, how can I become a winner when I haven't won a race yet? Yeah, that's a really good question, right? And that one, if you think too much between the ears on that one, it's going to confuse you. But at the end of the day, listen, winning sometimes is just not about thinking, it's just about doing. And furthermore, it's just about being a winner. And let me give you an example. I always bring up the analogy of lottery ticket winners, right? Someone that puts down, they put down $2 on the Powerball, win $500 million, right? $500 million. And there's lots of stories on lottery winners. If any of you guys know the story on lottery winners, most of them go broke after a year. In fact, most of them actually owe more money in a year, right? They actually owe more money than if they didn't win the lottery. They would have all this money, but they actually owe more money than what they had originally, right? And that's really sad. And here's the thing. The thing is that they just didn't have the mindset to be rich. They didn't have the mindset to be abundant. So what does this have to do with BMX? Listen, in an effort to be a winner, to win races in BMX, you have to prepare the mindset to accept winning. There's so many people that have the fear of failure. There's so many people that win races and then it's like, you know what? I don't know if winning races is a thing that I want to do. And this is not between the ears. It's unconscious, right? Again, when it comes to the mindset, not only are we talking about values and beliefs, but we can talk about two different things when it comes to the mindset. We have the conscious mind, in which I explain to a lot of my athletes, that's from the neck up, that's between the ears, okay? And then you have the unconscious mind, that's everything below. And everything below is just like a hard drive. Like we're literally walking hard drives. And what do hard drives store? They store memories, they store programs, right? They store programs. And what do we mean by programs? Well, let me give you an example of that. I think that's a really good question. Let me do my best to explain this. If a program could be something that unconsciously you could easily pop up and run. So, for example, if you're at school and you hear the alarm ring, not a fire alarm, but if you hear the period bell go off, right? It's the end of the class. What does everyone do? They unconsciously grab their books, stuff them in the backpack, they get up and they walk out. They don't even think about it. They just do it. Now, some people will anticipate it. They stare at the clock, but for the most part, unconsciously, when you hear that, it's a signal that, hey, class is over. It's dismissed. Let's go. You got 5 minutes to get to the next class. You guys are off to the races, right? Without even thinking. That's a program, right? Another program that's kind of silly is like, let's say you had a crash. Let's say you had a crash and you did it, over the first jump, or maybe you did it through the rhythm section. And every time you go through that rhythm section after the crash, you have a hard time with your confidence, right? For some reason, you come out of that second turn, head towards the rhythm section, and it's like, oh my gosh, you start to tense up, you might get nervous, and you go slow, you go through it timid. So what's happening is that the unconscious mind is actually running the program, and it's saying, hey, man, coming out of that second turn, heading towards the rhythm section, what do we do? And it says, I don't know, hey, rhythm section's coming up. What do we do? I don't know, what did we do last time? We crashed last time. Okay, so then we need to prepare to crash. So it locks up. It runs an automatic program. Same thing when it comes to winning, right? Some people, they just don't have the program to win because they haven't programmed themselves to be a winner, straight up. And I'm not just talking about the occasional winning of a race. I'm talking about winning multiple races, because once you win a race, it's fun, it's addicting, and winning is really healthy for the most part on the brain, right? It gives you validation, releases a lot of neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, for example, and it feels good. But how do we program ourselves to be winners? Okay. For the most part, you have to prepare the mindset, right? You have to be able to, number one, again, we talked about the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, all right? And the unconscious mind, look at these. These are hard drives. They're hard drives, so we have to program these. The conscious mind is the goal setter. So we could use our mind and think and write down goals that we want and write them down all day long. And we have to program the unconscious mind, because the unconscious mind is the goal getter. This is the goal getter. It has all the programs on how you're going to win. Okay. So again, preparing the mindset is key. A lot of people, they win on accident, and then, it's kind of like a one-hit wonder in music. They get that one awesome hit. It goes viral, hits number one on Billboard 100, and it rides number one for 3 or 4 months, and then it's like they come out with the next album and it's a dud, right? They didn't know how to be a number one hit singer. They didn't have the programming. They failed the program. And so when it comes to winning, we got to prepare the mindset. Hope that makes sense. So when it comes to, we're going to keep moving forward. So when it comes to preparing the mindset, look at this. Comes down to creating goals. We have to start there. Okay. We have to be able to give ourselves a target. Okay. One of the concepts I use with a lot of my athletes, I've been doing a lot of mental performance training, coaching for athletes. And one of the things that we do is we always create goals, because we have to have an aim. We have to know where we're going. Because listen, if you guys just go out and say, you know what, I want to win races. Okay, what do I need to win races? I just need to be faster. Once the unconscious mind, if you gave the directions to the unconscious mind that you're going to be faster, and you go out and do a few sprints and where you improve on your track speed, then it stops working for you. It says, okay, we're faster. Now what? Okay. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, how come I'm not winning races? Because again, you still have to prepare the mindset. So where do we begin when it comes to preparing the mindset? It starts with goals, right? Creating goals is a key, right? And here's the problem with creating goals. People are not congruent with what they create. So they'll create a goal that, hey, I want to win states. I want to win the national age group number one. I want to win the world championships. Oh, I want to go to the Olympics. It's easy for our conscious mind to easily write the stuff down. And then the unconscious mind's like, okay, well, give me the program. What do we need to do? If you don't give the unconscious mind the program, then you have an incongruency with the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So we have to be able to get the unconscious mind, we have to give it direction so it's congruent with the conscious mind. If there's an incongruency there, then you have a frustration. You have this inner turmoil where you have this frustration. It's got mixed emotions. It's like, hey, a part of me really wants this, but a part of me doesn't really understand it. And then you have this big confusion that's going on internally. It happens all the time. It happens to me many times. I wish I had someone like me to explain this to myself when I was a racer, right? Like this incongruency, it's really tough, man. It happens to most of us. I'm talking like 90% of you guys out there are incongruent with the goals that you create. For those that create goals, right? There's a ton of us. There's probably about 90% of us that don't create goals. And then there's the 90% of us that create goals that are incongruent with the goals that we create. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves getting frustrated, and then we stop racing. And then you guys are off to the next sport. And again, that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm here to help you guys and guide you guys so you guys can enjoy this sport more and more often and be able to share this wisdom with other people, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's all about helping out not only yourself, but to help out others. So when it comes to creating goals, how do we do it? Well, here's the thing. What's important is that, okay, we can go through the SMART goals, right? Make them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive, right? We could do the SMART goals. Everyone knows that. You guys already know that. We've talked about that many times, right? Creating goals. And before we move on, of the real number one secret that I'm about to tell you about when it comes to creating goals and programming yourself to attain those goals, is that at the end of the day, when you create these goals, oh my gosh. When you guys create these goals, number one, you want to create the goal and then say, hey, look, is there anyone that's in my position that has accomplished this goal before, right? Is there someone that I can model? Because modeling is key. And the problem with a lot of people and companies out there, some of you guys that are parents have companies, you guys are doing well for yourself, congratulations. But the problem with business and athletes is that you guys create goals and you guys create a plan, but the problem is you guys didn't follow a winning plan, ones that are already available for us to model, right? And that is the key. And what's important of that? That puts our goals in check, because I'll get guys that are like my age, I'm 47, and they're like beginners, and they'll hit me up, Coach G, I want to go to the Olympics. I want to win a gold medal. Great. Do you know any other 47-year-olds that we can model that had just started racing and within 2 or 3 years turn pro and have won a gold medal. Because if we could find someone that's done that, then congratulations, we have someone that we can model. Now, if we don't have anyone that we can model, it's going to be quite tough. Now, listen, as a coach, I'm never going to be the guy that's going to tell you you can't do anything. In fact, I'm always going to tell you you can actually do more, because it's true, right? You can accomplish anything you want. However, I also think it's important that you take advantage of looking out there and seeing who has succeeded and model them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. People do it all the time in BMX. These guys that have already accomplished Olympic medals like Nick Keenan and Kai White, they've already modeled Connor Fields, right? They're seeing his path. They see the success and the undulations and some of the feedback that he's got, right, from trying and then getting back up and trying again. They're able to model people. It's kind of like the 4-minute mile. If you guys, anybody know about Mr. Bannister, I forgot his name. Is it Roy? Roy Bannister, that was the first one to break the barrier of the 4-minute mile. Once someone broke the barrier of the 4-minute mile, right after that, I believe within the next 12 months, there was like 40 people, 40 athletes that broke the barrier of under 4 minutes. They had someone to model. They knew it was possible. Okay, so I think that's really key. Now, did you guys want to talk about the secret about taking that goal and then taking that goal and using it to prepare the mindset, to program yourself to be a winner, to program that unconscious mind? Listen, what you want to do is, once you write down that goal, there's 2 things that are important, man. 2 things that are important. Number 1, you want to create a goal and also frame it as if you already accomplished it, okay? So there's all kinds of ways you guys can program goals. I don't need to tell you guys this. I tell you all this. I tell you guys this all the time. You could write it down in the morning, write it down at night, right? But it's important that you guys write down that goal as if you already accomplished it, right? It has to be as if you already accomplished it, not that you're going to do it. Like a lot of people write goals, I'm going to win states, I'm going to win worlds, I'm going to turn pro, I'm going to be an Olympic champion. No, because that's confusing the unconscious mind. It's like the unconscious mind is working as if it didn't already accomplish it, right? It's kind of like the notion of someone being rich, right? They stumble across all this money, and it's like they have no idea how to be rich. They don't know how to be wealthy. They're operating off of a poverty mindset, trying to be rich. They're used to the struggle. So we don't need to program ourselves to struggle. And let me tell you, man, I made some big mistakes when I was a pro. I've had some abundant years where I had the mindset working and I was winning a lot. I've had seasons where I was struggling a lot. I had this weird belief in my mindset that, hey man, in an effort to be a champion, I got to struggle. In an effort to win races, I got to struggle. No, forget that. I'm not sold on that notion at all. Now, do I believe that people do struggle and they fight and they have awesome stories where they overcome? Yes, but that doesn't need to happen season after season after season. I think it's okay to operate out of abundance and have that winning mindset and nurture that mindset as if you're already a winner. And that way, when you show up, you don't need the validation. You're out there and you're operating out of abundance, man. And once people get that, man, the world opens up. The world is yours. And so, again, how can we program the unconscious mind, right? How can we program the unconscious mind, the hard drives? Well, it's really easy. Again, we talked about writing the goal as if it already happened. But even secondly, what we could do is we could create an image, have visualization. We can create a movie. We can create a picture as if it already happened, right? What's it going to be like once you realize you won? Now, here's a mistake that a lot of guys make when we talk about creating a picture as if you already won it. Oh, well, I'm in the gate for the main, and that's when I know when I won. No, it needs to be after the finish line. It needs to be up on the podium. You need to be having a number plate in your hand. You really, truly have to have it. Like, I just helped out a guy in cycling recently, really quickly. I'll share this with you. He's a teammate of mine. It's kind of hard to see, but maybe you can see it. There's a guy there. If I did that, it's only going to get blurrier. But this is my man, Sharon Smith. Okay, Sharon Smith is a guy that I used to race road bikes with, and he was going to the national championships. And he's a guy, everyone knows that he's a winner and he's a champion. He has the programming, but the one thing that was elusive was winning the national championships. That's something that he wanted, right? And he was abundant enough to get it. And he tried year after year after year after the last 10 years. And national championships in road racing, it's a crapshoot. It's really, really hard to win. You really need a lot of luck. But I think this time around it worked because I called him up and I said, hey, Sharon, like, let's create a picture for you as if you already won it. He said, okay, he was open to anything. I said, I do this with a lot of my athletes. I do this with a lot of my Olympic athletes. There you go. You see him wearing that national championship jersey. Man, I'm so proud of him. And what we did was we created a movie, if you will, a mind movie, as if he already accomplished it. It's like, hey, when you cross the finish line, what are you going to see? What are you going to hear? What are you going to feel? And the feelings that he had was like, man, I'm going to feel joyous, but I'm going to feel honored, and I'm also going to feel inspired to help out. I'm going to feel inspired to help out all the people that helped me get to this point. And so he had those feelings, he had purpose, but more importantly, he had the mind movie. And what we did was we created this mind movie of what it was going to be like as if he already accomplished the goal, right? And then once we got that, we did some timeline work where we actually went out to the future on the day and went right past the finish line. And then boom, we went right there, got, elicited those feelings. And then we came back to the present moment, opened our eyes, and came back into the room. And basically what we did was we programmed the unconscious mind of what it was going to be like. And so now the unconscious mind, the hard drives, had a GPS point, kind of like a GPS point if you were to go into your maps on your phone and you type an address, okay? And then all you have to do, you trust that the maps know the way, right? You type in the address to go home or go to the, a track that's a few hours away. You're going there for the Gold Cup, you're going there for the regional, going for the national, whatever, right? And all you have to do is put the phone down and plug it in. And all you have to do is listen to the directions. All you have to do is just focus on driving. You don't have to think about overthinking. Oh man, how are we going to get there, man? Do we have enough gas? What do we need to do? And oh my gosh, look, you're going to get to the destination. All you have to do is kick back and drive. All he had to do was just do what he needed to do with his training, which he mastered, and do everything that he mastered unconsciously without overthinking. He didn't have to worry about winning. We already programmed that. He wasn't worried about that anymore. Okay? Are you guys finding this helpful? If you guys can create that image, that picture, you guys do this for your next race. Create a goal for the next race as if you already accomplished it. Play that goal. Play that goal in your mind at night. Write down the goal as if you already accomplished it. Okay? It's really easy to do. It's amazing how I share this information and no one does it. No one does it. But if you guys do that, trust me, man, you don't have to consciously worry about. Listen, here's the thing. The unconscious mind's going to take care of what it needs to do to get the win. That's it. You don't need to overthink the process. Establish the intent, establish the outcome, let your training take over and do it. That's why I said in the beginning, we already know how to win races. We could do it through preparation. We could do it through training. Okay. So that means we have to take action, right? Enough on creating the goals. Are you guys finding this helpful? You guys finding this helpful? Great advice, coach. Very useful. Third says, sir, excuse me. Great advice, coach. Very useful, sir. Thunder Midget. Yeah. Because once you guys got that goal, then guess what? Then we go back to the obvious stuff. Right? You guys got to take action. You guys got to train. You guys got to execute. Right? You guys got to take action and, take action as a person. That's a winner. That's it. Right? Take action as if you already won the race. Okay? Now, one might think, okay, well, is that going to make me lazy? Like, I'm not hungry. Oh, trust me, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Right? Don't worry about that. Train as if you already won the race. Get that goal as if you already accomplished the win and start training. In fact, those feelings, right? Those feelings like I just talked about Sharon. It's like, hey, what are you going to feel like when you won the race? Oh man, I'm going to be joyous. I'm going to be honored. I'm going to be inspired. Great. Those are the 3 things that you need to do in the lead up to the race. Those are the feelings that you need to bring to the training environment, right? You got to live in those feelings. If you live in those feelings and bring those feelings, your training sessions are going to be awesome, right? Now all of a sudden you're living in those feelings. Instead of living in some feelings like, oh man, I'm unsure, I'm so doubtful, I'm uncertain, I'm not even sure. Maybe I was just bullshitting myself by writing those lofty goals, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man. And then you're showing up to the training session, oh man, I don't know. I'm not fast, I'm not strong, I'm not confident. F that. Man, you guys got to change the way you think. You change the way you think, you're going to change your results, you're going to change your life path. Okay, you guys got to take action. Okay, and being consistent every day is key, right? Being consistent over time is like money in the bank. It's like savings, right? It's like the concept of the slide edge. The slide edge is a concept that I live day to day in my life. In fact, everyone unbeknownst to them lives the slide edge, right? The slide edge is doing little things every day that are easy to do, that are also easy not to do, so they might as well do it. But, let me give you an example. Usually two things most people struggle with, especially men, is either their weight or their money, right? Weight and money. Oh man, those could be health and money, man, those in relationships, right? But we won't overcomplicate it. But man, money, man, it really struggles. Like people really fight with the concept of money and health. But think about it. Like if you guys, it's easy for anyone to just set aside a couple $100 a month every month, or $1,000 every month. I don't know, whatever. Just take a portion of money and save it every month and have it automated. By the end of the year, it's going to be like, oh wow, if you save $1,000 every month, oh wow, I'm sitting on 12 grand. Whoa, cool. All right, easy to do, also easy not to do. Okay. Another way this works is that you can also not save money. And, by the end of the year, it's like, oh, where'd all my money go? I don't know. I didn't save anything. Huh. Well, when it comes to health, a lot of people, if I eat a salad tonight, will it make me healthy? Will I lose weight? Maybe not. Probably not. More than likely not. But if I do it every day over time, right? If I do it for the next 12 weeks, okay, little things, right? Just an easy choice of eating healthy, right? Low carbohydrate, high protein, low fat, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get in debate over nutrition, facts and advice, but and concepts and methods, but you guys get the point. If I eat a hamburger tonight, will I be unhealthy? No, probably not. Probably not. But if I do it every day, over time, that slide edge concept of doing those little things every day, right? It's going to add up. It's going to stack up, right? You guys go check it out. The book Slide Edge. It's, it will change your life. It'll change the way you guys think. Again, changing the way you think will change the results, will change your mindset, and that's what we want. Again, taking action, right? One of the things that can help one take action is having accountability, having a training partner, right? Having a training schedule, knowing when the track is going to run and showing up. And then of course, with a lot of guys that want to win races, it's all about what you do away from the track when no one's watching. Those sprints, that core work, that figure 8 turn work, that power endurance interval work that you're doing at home, those gate starts that you're working on at home, that strength training that you're working on away from the track. All those different things that can help you win races, that can help you get faster over time, right? And you bring those goals in with that, bring those feelings that we talked about into those training sessions. That training is going to be a lot more meaningful. You're going to have more than just motivation. You're going to have purpose, right? You're going to have ambition. You guys are going to have that congruency of the conscious mind and the unconscious mind together. And you're going to have that intent to go out there and get it done, right? And that's what it's all about, training and executing. That's what you guys need. Those are the secrets. Man, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's crazy. More is there? Let's see. Let me look at my notes. Is there anything else? Oh yeah. So we talked about accountability, having a training plan, right? Like if you guys don't have a training plan, go to BMX Training Pro. There's training information. There's free stuff everywhere. If you guys want to go into BMX Training Pro, for example, there's training plans that you guys can easily follow. All right. Also, another key thing that a lot of guys have a tough time with is doing work away from the track, because when they go to the track, it's easy to get motivated. There's people there. They can get the vibe with the other riders, and they're having this session and it's awesome. It feels good. And then when they go home and they go do sprints and it's by themselves, man, listen, I get it, man. That shit's boring, but you guys got to be able to do the work. I understand it's only going to take 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour, whatever, to get that work done. Easy to do, also easy not to do. So you guys might as well do it. But listen, here's the thing. The way that it makes it easier for you guys to do that is at night before you go to bed, when you guys write down your goal as if you're already accomplished it. Right after that, you guys need to write down what you're going to do the next day. Okay. And one of my favorite books, Atomic Habits. I'm looking at my books right here. I think I read it in an Audible. Oh, there it is. I see it right here. Let me grab it. Atomic Habits by James Clear, really good book. One of the concepts that I personally use every day in an effort to live an awesome, successful life every day is writing down what you're going to do the next day. Number one, what you're going to do, where and when, okay? What you're going to do, where and when. So for you guys, if you guys have a hard time going to the gym or having a hard time going to the track or doing sprints, right? Like I have clients, I have a hard time doing sprints, right? Or like, man, I don't know, I don't get it. It's boring. Like, why don't I just go do some gate starts at the track? Isn't it the same thing? Yeah, it is, but it isn't. Write down what you're going to do. Write down your goals. Write down what you're going to do. I'm going to be doing sprints. I'm going to do them 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to do 10 of them, whatever, right? Okay. If you guys write that down before you go to bed, then when you wake up, there's no struggle, right? Because again, you've unconsciously programmed the unconscious mind, right? You program yourself to do that work automatically. Okay. So those are the secrets, man. Those little things, man, they make a big difference. Easy to do. Also easy what? Not to do. All right, cool. Guys, you guys have any questions as it pertains to these 3 secrets, right? These high-level secrets of preparing the mindset, okay? Preparing a winning mindset, creating goals, and of course, developing a plan to take action. If you guys have any comments, you guys are watching this on the replay. If you guys have any comments and you guys have any advice, if anybody here in the live show has any advice, great. Share them with the community. That's what we're all about. We're all about sharing and caring and giving. But more importantly, if you guys have any questions, then leave them in the comments below. Also in the live feed, if you guys have any questions for me, ask them now, and we're going to get to your questions. I'm going to do my best to answer as many as we can for the next 20 minutes in the Ask Coach G section. Again, if you guys are finding any value, stick around. You guys want to learn more, stick around. We're going to jump to the questions, one of my favorite parts of the show. We'll be back after the break. Hey guys, I have a question. What would it do for you if you could enhance your power out of the gate, enhance your sprint speed down the first straight, enhance your skills, enhance your mental performance mind state? What would that do for your racing or your kids' racing? If you're seeing the value of enhancing your BMX performance, consider joining the community of BMX Training Pro and get the same access my Olympic athletes have enjoyed, as well as thousands of BMXers all over the world. Some members use the access to improve their gate start techniques. Some also use the access to keep them motivated to train, and you'll find your reason when you gain access and join BMX Training Pro today.
Stay focused, get ready now. For real, get ready now.
Nitro with the nice flow.
Stay focused, get ready now. For real, get ready now. Let's go. Stay focused, hear the heat come. Concentrate to the sound of the beat drum. Yeah. Start it up, take it back now. Check it out. This is how it's going down. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, we're getting feedback. Sorry about that. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys enjoyed the presentation there on the 3 secrets on winning races, right? Again, we talked about preparing the mindset, creating goals as if you already accomplished it. And then we talked about the concept of taking action, right? Easy to do, easy not to do. Might as well do it. And we got a bunch of questions coming through the chat here. I want to talk a little bit more as it pertains to the subject, and then we can also, as you can see, I got my desktop computer here. I wanted to keep it more relevant to the subject if we can. We got a couple comments here. Trey rides bike. Winning is tough. Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you think about it, man, I've lost more than I won, but I don't look at it that way, right? Like, it's funny. I've been fortunate enough to win a double A pro race. There's a lot of pros that go through their career without even winning a pro race. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's hard to win. David Burt says, in order to be a winner, you have to already know it. Great comment. And I think you already have to have it programmed in the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind. Same thing. I like unconscious, subconscious. You already have to have it programmed in the unconscious mind and have that congruency to where when you think about it, you don't have any weird feelings where it's like, you know what? I don't know if you're ready, right? Like there's been times where I've created goals and it's like, hey dude, I'm a winner, I'm a champion. And then there's a part of me where I feel like, ooh, where's that feeling coming from? Man, that's something you have to work on, right? That's an incongruency. That could be baggage. That could be something that's going to derail you off the path towards the success that you want. Gonzalo says, yes, Greg, Gonzalo says, yes, Greg, very useful. I will try this weekend and at least at the East Coast Nationals. I don't know why I can't read. Please forgive me. That's great, Gonzalo. Let's see. Jig 801 says, always good advice, 80% mental, 20% physical. Yeah, I mean, the percentages are, it's crazy how mental it is, man. You got to think about the mentals unconsciously, right? That's like the pilot. The body is the bike, but the conscious mind, the unconscious mind is truly the pilot of what's running the show, right? What's running the show. It's everything. Our unconscious mind does a lot more than just, program itself to win races. It also regulates our blood pressure. It tells us when to breathe. It converts nutrition into energy, right? It does all kinds of things without even thinking about it, man. It's freaking nuts. The unconscious mind's crazy. The unconscious mind is also always right. The unconscious mind is also a 10-year-old irrational kid. You can't, I don't even argue with anyone's unconscious mind, man. It's not even worth it. But man, you guys are awesome. Cruz and Omar says, Dad bod here, his struggle is food. Aleo says, thanks, coach. Let's see, Marius has a comment. I think an important thing after setting the goals is to also identify areas of improvement that help achieve that goal and be exact with the actions and measure progress. Yes, Marius, thank you so much. I love that. Thank you so much for picking up the slack. Please forgive me if I did slack. I try my best not to, but listen, I am human and I love that you added value of identifying areas of improvement and what I would call that. Some people will call those goals too, right? But I like to call those objectives. It's like you create this goal and then it's like, okay, what are the objectives that you need to do or what you're trying to achieve in an effort to make this goal come to fruition or make it manifest, whatever you want to call it, whatever language you use, it's perfect, right? But I would say at the end of the day, like, yes, writing down things like, hey, I need a faster second pedal. I need more reaction. I need more power. I need more track speed. Yes, all those things, right? And what's crazy is that most racers, they just go out there with no goal, and then they try to work on this, they try to work on that, and they don't go deep into working on anything specifically, right? They just go out there and do a mixed bag of stuff. It's like going to a buffet and eating a bunch of shit. And it's like, well, and then you leave and it's like, well, what was that meal all about? I'm not sure if I liked it or not. I'm so full. I'm not, and the body's like, what was that all? Why did you do that? Like, what was that all about? And so I think it's good to be clear. The good news about trying to go after being something great and programming yourself as a winner is that you guys will actually dedicate yourself and go deep into mastering your craft. And I think that's important for anybody to take that risk of creating a goal and taking action against it and being really specific, right? Because you're going to be able to get feedback. And then you're going to know what I need to do. What do I need to do in the next phase of my career? Or what do I need to do to prepare for the next season or the next race? Like it's important for you guys to obviously create goals and, create good ones, right? Ones that you can model. Thank you so much, Marius. I think that's really important there. Gonzalo says, what about music before mains? I used all the time to get in my comfort zone. What do you think about music and those habits? I think that's great. Listen, we didn't even talk about that, but that's a whole nother ball of wax, right? You're talking about enhancing the performance mind state. Earlier, we talked about the mindset, right? We talked about preparing the mindset to become a winner, to be abundant, to ensure that you have the programming to win races, okay? But and that's the mindset, right? That consists of values and beliefs, and we could tweak those and edit those and change those, and we talked about it in the beginning of the show here. But then you have a mind state. Ooh, what's that? What's the mind state? The mind state is really what's happening in the moment, your thoughts, your feelings. And yes, Gonzalo, when it comes to music, yes, that could put us in an ideal performance mind state, right? Some of us like to get pumped, get jacked, get motivated, right? A lot of people like to be motivated before they race. I think that's great. And so what you're doing is that you're basically influencing yourself to be in a specific mind state that you find that you can operate in, right? Mind states are tricky, right? Like, when it comes to mind states, there's so many different triggers that can shift us out of the mind state, right? Things that we see, we might show up to staging and then all of a sudden, when we get up on the gate, we notice that the announcing gets louder. The racers next to us are a little bit bigger. Oh man, they're faster. And all of a sudden, we start to get into our shell, and then we get shifted into this, from being aggressive and motivated to protective and like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should just hold back. I'm not sure if I got it right. See how my body language is just like holding me back, and so. Things like not only thoughts and feelings, but also our body language, right? Like, how do we show up in staging? Do we have our chin up, shoulders back, and are we in this power position? Or are we hunched over, unsure, full of uncertainty and doubt and fearful and full of anxiety and totally just, I don't, having these thoughts of, man, I just don't want to crash. I don't want to fail. And I really don't even want to be here. I mean, how many people have been in staging, been like, dude, I don't even want to be here right now. I just want this to be over with, right? Like, dude, I've raced so many times. I've had that one come up a lot. And listen, that's just baggage that we have to work on, that we have to remove in an effort to regain and operate in that ideal performance mind state. Now, when it comes to performance mind states, man, everyone has an ideal one that they can totally access, they can anchor, and they can trigger and put themselves into easily, where they influence themselves to be in this ideal performance mind state, right? I tell the story all the time of when I was 22 years old and I worked on my mind state before the USA BMX Grand Nationals, where I won all three classes, right? I went undefeated in the pro class, right? One elite pro, double A pro, whatever you want to call it. Won another event called Pro Open. Then I won the Friday night pro race, right? It was a pro spectacular. Won undefeated, and my mind state was all about being relaxed, ready, and if I was relaxed and ready, I knew I would hole shot. In fact, it was like a mantra, but it would put me in this state of confidence, empowerment, this state of flow, this state of being in the present moment, where I wasn't thinking too far ahead what was going to happen after the gate drop, and I certainly wasn't thinking what happened behind me in the last moto. I was really truly in the present moment and just being able to operate as everything unfolded in time. Whew. That's a big one, right? Letting everything unfold in time, both, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. And when you're able to do that, right, where you're able to slow down the conscious mind of overthinking stuff and letting your unconscious mind do all the work, that's a beautiful thing. That's when you have awesome performances and you're doing your own trained performances, what you're capable of doing. So where am I going with this? Well, the mind state, listen, everyone has an ideal performance mind state. You guys just have to program it. You guys have to write it down and figure it out. What is it that allows you to perform and win races, right? Right? If you guys haven't won a race before, okay, well then what allows you to perform, period, right? What makes you feel good when you come out of the gate and you cross that finish line feeling awesome and victorious? How are you going to feel? What do you see? What do you hear? But more importantly, what are you going to feel? You get those feelings, and guess what? Those feelings are the ingredients that you need to be anchoring and triggering and using every time before you get into the gate. So easy to do, so easy not to do, so you might as well do it. Gregory Seal says, how does this programming affect your ability to stay calm and relax in staging and right before the gate drops? Ooh. Well, Greg, that's a great question. Thank you so much for showing up and asking. And I don't know where at in this show or what I just said where you wanted to ask that question. What was the context that gave you that question? But I would say, to answer your question, how does this programming affect your ability to stay calm and relax in staging and right before the gate drops? Well, if staying calm and relax is something that you want, that allows you to be empowered, confident, strong, focused, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve for a state, right? An ideal performance mind state, then maybe you could recall a specific time when you were calm and relaxed and you performed well, right? Maybe it's just those words. Hey, I'm being calm and I'm relaxed. And when I'm calm and relaxed, I'm empowered, I'm in the present moment, I'm powerful, and I'm focused. There's nothing else to do it. Yeah, I think that's a great question, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much for asking. Aiden Swart says, how do you protect yourself from those feelings? I feel so confident when I show up, but when I see who I'm racing, I kind of get in my shell a little bit. Dude, I get it. I've been there. A lot of my kids will, and racers will do that too. I'm 17 years old, inner, and only 5'5" and 120 pounds. Okay, so I don't know what that means, but I respect your size and your weight, and I don't think that should be something that you should be overthinking. But yes, so how do you protect yourself from those feelings, right? What are those feelings exactly? Is it a feeling of, usually it's feelings of like fear, timidness, anxiousness, right? Anxiety, and everyone has their own internal representation of what anxiety means, okay? But at the end of the day, what you want to do, Aiden, is focus on the feelings that you want, right? Here's one of the biggest problems that athletes have when they're showing up to the staging area, and before the staging, they get their helmet on, they grab their bike and they look at their moto and they're like, all of a sudden, maybe they're thinking about the outcome and maybe they might have a negative goal and say, oh man, look at this moto. I just don't want to get motoed. And it's like, oh man, when you have negative goals, you're going into, you're moving away from pain. And so the opposite of that is moving towards something that you want. Great. What would you like instead? So if you find yourself, Aiden, being fearful, having anxiety, having a negative state, having an unreversible state, then what you need to do, you got to be your own coach and say, wow, these feelings, okay, these are interesting. I don't know if they're going to work for me. What would I rather do instead? Right? And just start focusing on being in an empowered mind state, a resourceful mind state, whatever that is for you. You have to decide what that mind state is. Every single human being is different. I can ask you guys, give me 5 feelings that you guys have, 5 ideal, positive, awesome performance mind state feelings that you should have, before you get into the gate, and have all you guys that are watching concurrently right now write those down. And we're not going to find 2 people that have 5 things, right? It's impossible. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, right? Because everyone has their own internal representations, right? I'm not going to get into that. That's crazy science. It's awesome science, but everyone has their own internal representation. So every single human being, every single BMX racer should really truly think about, what is my ideal performance mind state? For me, it's all about being relaxed, ready. And when I'm relaxed, ready, I'm able to hole shot. Relaxed, ready for me means just being focused, being in the moment, being up for the challenge, but not like over anxious, right? Because if I'm over anxious, I'm not going to be able to perform. I might hit the gate. I might be late for the gate. So I just want that relaxed alertness, right? Like, hey, I'm ready to just snatch and snap like a ninja, right? I'm ready to just get that quick punch out of the way, right? And so, yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome stuff. Danny Booby says, past is the past, future is all you can control. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to let go of the past and focus on the future. Great comment, Danny. I love that. And Danny also says, the best thing about racing the Grands from Australia, we get on the gate not knowing anything about the riders on the gate. So it's all on me as the rider, right? Like, you have no idea who you're riding, so you're just going to get the best gate that you can. And Danny, that's awesome. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about overthinking, who is who. Ignorance is bliss, right? Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. It says G Kutsubus. G Kutsubus. We're just going to call you GK. GK says, used to tell myself, these clowns have no business being on the same gate as me. No false bravado, but it helped create confidence, calmed me, kept me from getting psyched out and losing before the gate. Dude, that's great. Basically what you did was you basically triggered yourself to be confident, calm, and psyched and ready to go, right? And I would say that's not like a move away. Like a moment ago, we talked about a move away and moving towards. You saying these clowns have no business being on the same gate as me, that's kind of like neither or, but it's good because it's not a negative comment that's going to have you move away from pain. It's moving you towards what you want. So thank you for sharing that. Aiden says, thank you, coach, so much for the feedback. And then Jonah keeps repeating this question. Maybe someone else can help him out. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and answer Jonah's question. Is carbon worth it? I don't know. Say maybe cranks or wheels. I've heard that carbon is stiffer, which means better power transfer. And though I only want to race pro, I'm 12 and wondering if it's worth the investment. Man, if you're 12, listen, and you want to race pro, man, listen, I don't know if I would focus on spending money and investing money into things that won't necessarily make a huge difference, right? Like, I think you're only going to get marginal gains out of something of equipment. Now, here's the thing. Here's a caveat. If you believe that, something like a carbon bike, carbon wheels or whatever that you want, equipment will make you faster, and that gives you confidence and helps you believe that you're faster, great, then by all means do it. Is it going to make you a winner? Well, we talked about it earlier in the show. We need to program yourself to become a winner, right? At the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. So I'm not really a big equipment specialist. However, I'm not going to say that it doesn't work. If it does give you a slight edge of some kind of mental performance gain, right? Because, it's hard to quantify. I mean, listen, I come up with this notion. There's this guy who is a 10-time world champion surfer, a guy named Kelly Slater. You're probably too young to know who he is, but, listen, I'll give you an example. At 47 years old, maybe I can pick any bike for Connor Fields to race, okay? I'm going to do a one-on-one race with Connor Fields. I pick the bike that he's going to race. I'll give him a shitty bike, right? Something heavy, something that's overgeared. You know, give them a wax setup. Maybe it's steel, maybe it's chromoly. I don't give them any carbon, right? And then I race my own, my ideal bike, right? I race a bike that's carbon. It's got carbon wheels. It's got clips. It's just souped up, right? The bike's $2,000, right? Listen, I get on the gate with Connor Fields. He's going to roll me up like carpet. He's going to smoke me, right? He's going to smoke me like a bad habit, okay? And so what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, the equipment doesn't matter as much as you think. Gears, cranks. Oh my gosh, you know how much I get bombarded about cranks. Hey man, you know, I'm 5'9", 180 pounds, running 44/16 with a 1.75 rear tire and 177.5 millimeter cranks. Great, awesome. Are you programmed to win races or what? Are you able to access your mind state, the ideal performance mind state? Are you guys doing the little things every day that will help you be a winner, right? Are you guys taking action? Are you guys training? Are you guys working on your sprint? Are you guys getting faster with the intent of winning races? Dude, at the end of the day, that's all that freaking matters. Man, I almost swore. I almost swore. Don't get me worked up. But listen, that's what matters. That is what matters. The equipment, I'll tell you, I was probably the worst guy when it came to equipment. Maybe the second worst guy. I could think of other guys, they overthought their bar position, but I'm the guy that used to change the cranks on a Saturday night because I wasn't liking the way I rode on Saturday, right? Oh, let me change my cranks. Let me go down 2 millimeters and see if I can have more track speed. It didn't matter. It didn't work. It didn't work because I didn't have the programming to have success on Sunday. That's it. Emotionally, mentally. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Those are the secrets. It's not in the equipment. Jonah. And please forgive me, Jonah. I wasn't, you know, when I was talking to you, I know you're 12 years old. I wasn't trying to give you a hard time. When I was talking to you, I was thinking about all these other BMX dads and kids and people. They come at me all day long. I get bombarded. My email box gets bombarded. I get direct messages all the time. Same thing about equipment, gears and whatnot. So Jonah, please forgive me. I wasn't trying to jam this down your throat. You inspired me. So thank you. And I hope that makes sense, man. Yes. And he says, okay, thanks. Sometimes it's easy to get wrapped up in the new trends. Yes. And trust me, if you have unlimited budget, awesome, great. But for the rest of us, maybe we could save our money and invest in a gym membership. Maybe we could get, I don't know, the latest and greatest training device that will enable us to get faster, right? You know, at the end of the day, that's what we want. We don't want to waste money. I mean, trust me. I mean, I love nice things. I love nice things. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Danny says, Jonah, find a good coach. Maybe Coach G. Money spent on training at 12 will outweigh anything you spend on carbon. Yeah, I agree. You know, that's not to say that you want a heavy bike. You want something that's competitive, but you know, like aluminum versus carbon, it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter. It's not going to make a huge difference. Okay. All right, let's see. Man, I'm excited, man. I'm so grateful and honored to be your guys' coach. Having a great session today. I'm already 5 minutes past our hour time limit, but man, you guys are just inspiring me so much. Let's talk. Let's see if we can answer one more question. Let's see. Aleo says, let's see if this is a question. I'm going to tell you my situation. I do my gym sessions, sprints, and track sessions, but at the weekend race, it's like I forget everything and I don't do anything at the race. What do you recommend me? Okay, let me see if I can read between the lines. I'm not that good. I mean, it's crazy, man. When it comes to communication, words are only 7%. Tone and body language is like the remainder of it, right? Tone's 38, body language is 55. You guys read my body language. I'm inspired. I'm enthused. I'm so excited to be here. But man, trying to read between the lines on words when words only 7%. I'm gonna try my best. Let's read the question one more time. Aleo Rincon says, I'm going to explain my situation. I do my gym sessions, my sprints, and my track sessions, but when I race on the weekend, it's like I forget everything and I don't do anything at the race, what do you recommend? Okay, so I think what you're trying to tell me is that you do all this hard work and then you show up to the race and you don't perform, you don't execute. Okay, so maybe perhaps what you could do is, this is tough because I'm like mind reading, right? I'm trying to read between the lines. I'm trying to, without you giving me much context on what exactly is happening on the race weekend, right? Is it a physical thing? Is it an emotional thing? Is it a mental thing that's derailing you from performing? Okay, I need to know that. All right, I need to know that. Give me that, Alejo, and then I could do my best to answer this specifically. Matt Johnson says, thanks, coach. My son finally sat and listened. He is hearing everything what I've been trying to say. You're a better messenger. Yeah, communication, man. It's something that I work on every day, right? Communication to myself, communication to others. It's, yes. And let me tell you something, Matt. At the end of the day, as a parent, listen, you're also a coach, and coaching at the end of the day is just inspiring people. Really, it's just influencing one to influence themselves, right? Like it was hard for my dad to go out, hey son, you need to go out there and do these sprints. You need to do this work. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to my dad, because he just did a poor job influencing me to influence myself to do the work. You got to give them a reason. Matt, I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm going on a tangent here because I'm waiting for a Leo here to answer my question on what's derailing him. But, at the end of the day, Matt, you got to say, listen, hey, because you're fast and you want to be faster and you want to win races, and winning races from the start is important, and having a good start and good acceleration is important. Let's work on some sprints today. What do you say? Like, if you guys say it like that, dude, you're going to influence your guy to go out there and do the hard work, All right, Aleo's not going back, so I'm just going to try to mind read this question. But, Aleo was telling us, hey, he does all this work. He does the gym work. He's working hard. He's working on his fitness. He's doing the sprints. He's working on his sprints to get faster. And he's going out to the track, working on his skills, working on his gate starts, working on his rhythm section, working on his manualing, his jumping, his pumping, his turns, okay? We're presupposing he's doing all this work, and then he's not executing at the race, like he forgot how to ride his bike. Okay, so I would say number one, maybe it's a mind state thing, okay? When you show up, are you showing up with the same emotional thoughts and feelings that you were training with, presupposing that you're having awesome gym sessions, sprint sessions, track sessions, and you're feeling really good about it, right? What are those feelings? Are you bringing those same feelings to the races? And if, start there. Start with those feelings, and that's going to put you in an ideal state to perform and do what you're trained to do, okay? Now, if you're trying to do that, and yet you're showing up and you're not performing because you're either fearful, you're anxious, you're nervous, you're unsure, you're fear of failure, then you need to identify what's holding you back and then do some change work, right? What can you do for change work? Well, you could reframe all those negative thoughts and say, what would I rather do instead? So for example, if you're nervous, maybe you just say, hey, I'm nervous, but you know what? Nervous is just the same physiology as excitement. So you know what? I'm excited to race. You guys have to have your mind state moving towards something positive, not away from something negative, okay? All right, guys, thank you so much. Man, it's an honor. It's a blessing. I'm so grateful to be your coach. Thank you guys so much for interacting with me. You guys have an awesome week. Have an awesome rest of your Tuesday. If you're in Australia, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And if you guys are in Australia, you find out what the winning lottery tickets are because you guys are a day ahead, let me know, and then I'll do my best to purchase them here, and we'll win. We'll split the winnings. But I'm kidding, obviously. But guys, listen, have an awesome week. Keep working hard, right? Keep preparing the mindset to be a winner. Create goals as if you already accomplished it. Get that visual picture as if you already accomplished the goal, okay? And then show up every day with the intentions of already accomplishing that race that you guys want to win. Show up every day in your training and execute, okay? Those are the 3 secrets. You guys go to work. I trust that you guys are going to do it, and I'll see you guys next week.